Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Yes, finally Friday. We've made it. This has been a very busy week for me, but it's been an enjoyable week because I've had so many great conversations with public speaking and business. I just want everyone to realize that we need to be able to communicate better. That's like the main take home message. If you don't get anything else from any of my talks, although you should be getting a lot, I want you to realize that communication is such a pivotal piece that we need in all of our day-to-day interactions for work, for home, for our businesses, for our relationships. You have to be able to articulate your thoughts. You have to be able to express your needs and then also be able to receive that same communication back from the people you're interacting with. And I think many people are not as far along as they would like to be in their businesses, in their relationships, and even in the workplace because they don't know how to properly communicate. And so that's what the Model Speakers Academy is about. I have been talking about it so much, but I really want you all to understand this is a labor of love. This is my baby, if you will. I grew up with, stuttering issues. I used to talk very fast and I wasn't very confident in speaking. And I actually worked with a speech pathologist for some years in elementary school to get where I needed to be. And now, the girl that got marked on her report cards talk too much in class is now trying to help you talk some more but be able to talk in a way that's going to help you get better and to get further along with what you want to accomplish. Because you can have the best ideas, you could be the smartest person in the room, you can be the most talented, you can have the best business, but if nobody knows about it, guess what? It means nothing. You have to be able to share your message and you have to be able to speak up for yourself because the squeaky wheel gets the oil. The person who raises their hand, the person who talks and has that authority is the one that's going to get recognized and the one that's going to probably get further ahead, even if they don't deserve it. So I want to help individuals who may not be as confident or who even hate public speaking, let you know it's okay. Fear is a real thing, but there's ways to conquer it. And there's tips and there's tools that you can use to be a better and more effective speaker and just an overall communicator. And so it's an 8-week program that I'm launching this month. It's going to launch. The program is going to open up and then it's going to close probably by the end of October. So I want you to get in this window, get in so that I can help you. That way you can go into 2025 ready. That means you're not trying to wait till the new year to get your resolution started. You can start now. And so that's what I want to do. That's what I want to help you with. And so that's what these public speaking and business sessions have been. I wanted to get different entrepreneurs to come in to share about their business and share about what they have going on and to share how communication has been such a monumental portion of what they do and has helped their businesses. And so I hope you've been watching along. And if you haven't, go back, scroll down to the bottom of my Facebook and just look, because I've had so many great talks that I started in July. And here it is, September, 2 months later, and I'm still going strong. And I'm so, so excited. And so today, I got a special lunch treat. We have Whitney Johnson Martin here today. She's going to share with you about her business, her profession, what she has going on, and then we're going to get into the questions that I ask all my guests. So I'm super, super excited. So I hope you're enjoying your lunch and I hope you're getting ready to enjoy this wonderful message that I'm going to have, this conversation, I should say, I'm going to have with Whitney. So welcome, Whitney. Thank you so much for joining me and let the world know about what you have going on.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me as well. My name is Whitney Johnson Martin, and I am a licensed clinical social worker. I am in almost a year now. October will be a year of my private practice. And so thank you. So I just work with adults that are trying to navigate life, a lot of challenges. I'm sure, as you know, especially with speakers dealing with anxiety, sometimes depression, sometimes just challenges in their communication with family, with friends. And so I really spend a lot of time with my clients trying to help them to live better lives. Like my whole thing is about wellness. And so particularly I focus on emotional and spiritual wellness, but wellness is all encompassing. It impacts our lives in a lot of different ways. So that's my thing. It's just really trying to help people to live well, whatever that looks like for them. So that's
That's
a little bit about me.
yeah. And so what's the name of your practice?
Oh yeah, my practice is called Welcome to Wellness with Whitney. It's a virtual practice, so I see all of my clients through telehealth.
Wow, and I love all the W's. Welcome to Wellness with Whitney. I love it. I
Yes.
love it. It just flows and it's just so smooth. So yes, that's awesome. And I'm glad it is, it's virtual. So that means there's no excuse. It doesn't matter where you're located when you see this video. Whitney can help you. If you have the World Wide Web, more W's, if you have the internet,
Right.
then you'll be able to connect. Even if it's a time zone, she's gonna work it out. She's gonna figure it out
Mhm.
so that you can get the help because like you said, wellness is so important. And I want to say
Yes.
since COVID that really to me magnified or highlighted just how much mental health is a crisis in some cases with
Mhm.
the world, just what's been going on. And we all have mental health. But the point is your mental health healthy? Like are you
Right.
thriving? Are you where you need to be? So that's beautiful.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Absolutely. So my first question is why do you believe public speaking is a crucial skill for business professionals today?
For a few reasons, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is public speaking is your way of connecting with people. And
Mhm.
so when you're a business owner in particular, a lot of your business rides on how you connect with people. Like you were saying, when we were talking a little bit earlier, you can have the skills, you can have all the things, but if you can't connect with people, whether that's your customers or clients for me as a therapist or just business partners, people that you want to connect with, if you can't communicate with them well or effectively, that's going to affect your entire business. So I think the connection aspect is something that really stands out to me when it comes to being able to master your public speaking or at least just get better at it as a business owner.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you said, connection, that's the biggest thing, and not only with your business, but you want to be able to connect with your coworkers, your boss, your
Hmm.
family members. You
Right.
want to be able to connect. Life is full of connections. We're
Yes.
either interconnected, some kind of way, there has to be a connection. And a lot of the disagreements and the distress and all of the
Yes.
issues we are having is usually because of a disconnect, and the
Hmm.
disconnect usually happens with the communication piece. This is what I was thinking. This is what I wanted. This is what I meant, but this is how you
Right.
received it. And so we got to be able to come together and talk about it where I hear you, you hear me, and then that we can express ourselves where we get the desired end. Because ultimately, we all have things we want and desire. But if we can't communicate it effectively, then we're going to go around having our needs unmet, having our wants unmet, and
Yeah.
we want to be able to connect. So that's beautiful. And just simply put, we want to be able to connect with our audience, with our peers, with our family, whatever the case is. You don't want to live a life where you're disconnected.
Right, absolutely. I usually use the analogy of like communication being a bridge. So if I'm over here and you're over here, communication is the way that we can connect and meet in the middle and figure out how to get on the same page. And so, again, public speaking is that thing. If I'm here and my audience is here, or my boss is here, or my coworker is here, I'm I'm speaking and I'm communicating, and we're doing it together so that we can get on the same
Absolutely love it. So if you hear me using it, yes, Brittany, not Susan, not
page.
Brittany, Whitney, I got
Yes.
it from you. Yes,
Please do.
the
Please do.
bridge. Yeah, because that's true. We want to be a bridge over troubled waters. We want to be able to connect with each other,
Right.
and you want to come in the middle. You definitely want to meet and make it
Hmm.
make sense. So that's
Yes.
excellent. So my second question is, can you share a personal experience where effective public speaking significantly impacted your career or business?
Well, I feel like this is an interesting question for me because in a way, even though I'm usually speaking just one on one with clients, I feel like I have to public speak every day for hours on end. Uh, so in that way, I would say it's crucial to my business. Like I have to engage with people um, in one way or another. So whether that's me trying to promote my business or trying to build an audience or just trying to maintain a connection with new clients versus clients that I've been working with for years, there's always aspects of public speaking that I'm pulling into what I do on a day-to-day basis. So whether that's like articulating, whether that's slowing down so that I can gather my thoughts and really try to communicate to them effectively, whether that's listening and knowing my audience or knowing my clients and what they may need. All of those things are something that I'm doing every day for hours.
Right, right.
trying to, make sure that I'm maintaining that connection again with my client.
Right. And I love that you said listening because I think many people think that public speaking is only about talking, but it's about listening as well because you have to be able to listen to things that are being said and that are not being said. Is verbal communication and nonverbal. So if I'm giving a speech, I need to be able to read the room and see, am I boring my audience? Are they connecting
Hmm.
with me? Am I seeing some head nods? Am I seeing
Right.
laughter when I tell a joke? Am I seeing, eyes that are just like, piercing, that they're looking, they're really,
Yeah.
hearing and on the edge of their seats, they're really engaged. Like all of
Yeah.
that plays a part. And then also when it comes to question and answer portion, I need to be able to repeat back their question and make sure that I heard it correctly so that I can give the answer that they're looking for. And so
Yeah.
that's, day to day, when you're working with people, you want to make sure that you're listening to what they are saying to you so that you can give the proper response, you can do the proper
Hmm.
actions to actually remedy whatever the question or the situation is. So to be
Right.
in business and definitely to be a good communicator, you got to be a good listener because it
Yeah.
can't be all about what you think, what you want, and you tell them what you think they want to hear or what you think they are
Right.
wanting from you. You got to be able to listen so that you can truly provide the service, provide the communication, the correspondence, whatever it is that your audience or that your client wants. So thank you
Right.
for bringing up listening because that's
Yeah.
very crucial when it comes to speaking.
Yes. Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so my next question is, what are some common public speaking challenges that business professionals face and how can they overcome them?
I would say some common ones that I think about is one, anxiety, right? So they're
Mhm.
worried about how they may be perceived. So that could lean into social anxiety, but also just general anxiety around like putting yourself out there and having to speak in front of a large audience or even a smaller audience. So I think anxiety is one. And then also, I would say confidence. Like when you
Mhm.
don't feel sure of yourself or when you're second guessing or if you have some imposter syndrome going on or just whatever doubts that may be coming up, that definitely is a common challenge. So for both, I think that when you're experiencing anxiety, there's obviously from a therapeutic standpoint, there's things that you can do to manage that. But one of the things that I encourage when it comes to just putting yourself out there and trying to manage all the things that are going on internally is really taking that time to be with yourself. So whether that's before you have to speak, or as you're preparing, or even after, if you're like looking back on a moment where you're like, oh man, I didn't do good, or I messed up here, I messed up there. I think it's really important that we're just um, spending time with ourselves in a compassionate way, like in a constructive way that brings the self awareness, but that still allows us to be human. Like, it's
Right.
okay if you have some doubts sometimes. It's okay if you're worried about messing up, because obviously that speaks to the importance of whatever you're doing. If
Mhm.
you're like, oh, I don't care and I don't feel anything, maybe that thing isn't really, that important to you. So if you're feeling those things, it's normal and it's okay, but it's also important that we are not just bypassing that because ultimately when you get up there, it's going to come out if you haven't really taken that time.
Right. Wow, that's good. And like you said, yes, anxiety and, confidence is something huge because I think sometimes we're our worst critics. And so we have to
Hmm.
be able to realize that some of the things we're experiencing or feeling is something that everyone experiences and feels.
Yeah.
Nobody comes out the womb being a great speaker. That's a skill that can be taught, that can be practiced. And so to me, the more prepared you are, that kind of helps with the anxiety as well. Because, like you
Hmm.
said, if you don't care about it, you're being lackadaisical, you're not preparing, you're not taking the time to brushing up on your skills, making sure that you're ready for the topic, you know your audience. There's certain things you can do
Right.
to come in the door prepared and ready. And so the more you've done your homework, your research and prepared, I think that definitely helps with the anxiety. And I believe it was on the talk I had yesterday. Um, Anxiety or fear usually has the same type of adrenaline or the same type of energy as excitement. So
Yes.
the thing is, you want to channel that anxiety and that fear, that same energy, but turn it into excitement. Like, oh my goodness, instead of being like, I'm so nervous, I'm so scared, like, oh, I'm so excited to be here. Yeah, I might have a
Yeah.
little bit of nervousness, but I'm prepared, I'm ready. So now I'm excited because I'm ready to deliver a message. I'm ready to connect with my audience. I'm ready to
Right.
bring my message across. So we got to just make sure we're doing our part to be prepared so that we will have the confidence and have, that right attitude and right energy to do our best. And then I like when you said just spend some time with yourself reflecting and being
Hmm.
centered. And I like to say, even saying affirmations, write you
Yes.
some
Hmm.
affirmations out, write something positive, prayer, whatever you need to do to get your mind mentally ready for what you're about to present, or whatever the situation is. That will all help, but it does start with yourself, because I got to
Hmm.
believe I can do my best. I got to
Right.
believe that I was called for this time, or for this position, or for this presentation. And if I'm here, that means I can handle it and I can rise to the occasion. And so, whatever it takes, I can do it. So, it starts with me rewiring my thoughts, or changing
Hmm.
the record, changing that message that may not be positive, but change it to one of confidence, of assurance, of, you know what, I can do this. And I can
Hmm.
take the steps to prepare to do the best I can. And even if I make some mistakes, it's okay. It's not the end of
Yes.
the world. I'm human. And, people don't want a robot. They want somebody they can
Right.
relate to, somebody they can connect with. And so if you do those things, then I believe you'll do all right. So yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll add just really quick because I think this is something that we don't always think about, but it can affect like how our anxiety shows up or just how we feel when we are getting ready to do things.
Mhm.
Is also like your physical care. So like getting sleep, making sure you've eaten, like drink some water, like small things like that. If you take care of those things, that's one less thing you have to worry about. So if your
Right.
anxiety is already up here, it'll probably be a lot higher if you're like, man, I also didn't get sleep and now my stomach is growling and I'm
Right.
thirsty. So it's like really tending to all the small things that you might forget to do because you're so worried.
Yes.
Don't forget that because if you take care of those things, they won't get in your way as you're already trying to just manage the regular anxiety that comes with speaking.
Yes, and that goes right back to being prepared. Like you said, we
Right.
skip those things, but you
Mhm.
don't want to be rushing around either. If your event starts at
Right.
1, you really need to be there at 12, maybe even
Yes.
11:30. Give yourself time to
Mhm.
get where you're going. That way you can
Yes.
scope the room out, check it out, and say, okay, this is where I'm going to be standing. This is what I'm going to be doing. I've already worked with
Right.
IT, got my stuff set up. All about being prepared. Like you said, you've already had
Mhm.
your breakfast, you've already had your snack, you definitely
Yep.
already had water, and maybe you even bring your own water with you just in case
Mhm.
they don't have it. Like, you want to think of everything possible that could happen or that you may need so that you can
Right.
come ready to execute. That means have your
Yes.
presentation ready. That means, whatever you need to do, bring it. Have your own
Yes.
mic, and whatever the case is, just try to have everything you need so that regardless of what's happening, you're prepared and you've taken care of the biological, physical things. Like you said, you've eaten, you've
Right.
gotten enough rest. No need to be up all night the night before when you knew this was happening a month ago. If you've been
Right.
preparing, then you should be able to get in that bed and get a good 8 hours of sleep and be well rested so you don't have bags under your eyes, so you're not looking stressed out. Already have
Right.
your outfit picked out. Don't wait till that morning. So
Mhm.
take it. This shirt doesn't fit. Or this skirt got a stain on it. No, you already picked your outfit out. It's already ready. It's pressed. It's dry cleaned. We got
Yeah.
to make sure we take care of everything we can ahead of time, because a lot of the headaches, a lot of the stressors, a lot of the anxieties because we weren't prepared. So if
Mhm.
we've done our due diligence, if we've taken care of those things like you clearly brought out, you've eaten, you've drank your water, you're prepared, then things should run smoothly. I'm not saying that things might not happen, but the
Right.
things that we can control, my goodness, let's control them. If it's
Yes.
in our power, if it's within our reach, if it's within our control, which a lot of it is,
Yes.
let's go ahead and take care of it so that we can have a smooth day. We're not worried about traffic or a wreck because I've already given myself
Right.
an hour head start. I've already given myself,
Mhm.
so we've got to do our
Mhm.
parts so that the rest can just flow.
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So thank you for bringing that
Definitely.
up. So
Yeah.
my last question is, what is one essential tip you would give to someone looking to improve their public speaking skills?
One essential tip. I would say to not be afraid to fail. Like
Wow.
I think when we're trying to improve, and I'm saying we also including myself, like we think about the highlights. We think about like I'm gonna do this step and then I'm gonna learn this skill and then I'm gonna be great. At least that's what That's what I imagine. That's what how I would like for it to work. But I'm learning in my own journey as a new business owner and going into private practice that a lot of my success with speaking and also other things that I've been doing is just allowing myself to do it and not get it right and learn from that and keep going afterwards. A lot of times
Right.
we are afraid to fail or we're afraid to mess up because in our mind that's the end. Like I'm gonna try and then
Mhm.
I mess up and then I'm so discouraged I don't do it again. But if you really allow yourself the space to learn. This is
Right.
learning. So if you're learning, it's okay for you to not get it right. It's okay for you to do well one time and then maybe the next time you might not. And so just
Right.
really giving yourself that freedom to fail and to get back up again, I think is the one tip that I would want people to really um, lean into as they're trying to improve.
That's excellent because, like you said, we're all human. We're not going to always get it right, and even if we get it right, then we may mess up, then get it
Yeah.
back on track and get right again. So that's all a part of the human experience. So I've seen this term. It's called fail forward. Don't
Yes.
fail and stop, but let's fail forward. Let's learn from our
Right.
mistakes. Let's make the proper changes and corrections. Don't just keep making the
Right.
same mistake, same mistake. Let's learn from what we're
Mhm.
doing and then try to improve and be better the next time. And not compare ourselves to other people, but compare ourselves to the
Mhm.
person in the mirror. Let's try to be
Yes.
better than the last time. Let's try to make sure that our presentation, our pitch, our whatever we're trying to do, let's make sure that we're doing better than we did the day before. And,
Yes.
not be so hard on ourselves. I like to say, give yourself grace,
Yes.
because sometimes we're
Mhm.
willing to give grace to other people, but we don't give that same grace to ourselves. So don't be so
Mhm.
hard on yourself. Because I'm the
Yes.
type of person, I used to, if I made a mistake, if I did something wrong, it would nag me all day. I wouldn't let it.
Yeah.
And let's say I forgot about it. I would be like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be upset about something. I would remind myself about what I did wrong just so I could feel it again. And so I would
Yeah.
burden with me all day or
Yeah.
sometimes, days. And I'm like, you've got to
Mhm.
stop that. Stop punishing yourself. Stop putting yourself through that unnecessary stress and anguish
Yes.
and pain and stop reliving that moment. Stop torturing yourself. Just don't do that. When you make a
Yeah.
mistake, feel that in the moment, feel the pain, feel the hurt, feel the embarrassment, whatever it is, then shake it
Mhm.
off and just
Yes.
realize you weren't the first person, you're not going to be the last person. And there's always somebody who did worse than what you did. So
Right.
give yourself some grace to grow and to develop and be better in this human experience because we're all going through stuff. We all have so much on us and we got to lighten up because that's not
Yeah.
going to help. Like me stressing over it days after it happened, hours after it happened is not going to change it. It's
No.
happened. I didn't like it. What can I do to get over this? What can I do to be better the next time? That's what we have to tell ourselves.
Yeah. Absolutely. And just to add on to what you said, you bring up a good point about giving ourselves grace and just like feeling it because I feel like that's those two are the key ingredients. Like we
Mhm.
need to feel it. We don't
Right.
want to run from the embarrassment or the oh my god I messed up. Like
Yeah.
it's not comfortable to feel that, but when that's met with the grace, that's what allows you to move forward. It's because what you were describing was like I'm feeling bad, but there wasn't any grace there. But if
Right.
you allow yourself to feel it and then you add grace to it, it's like okay, yeah, that sucks. I don't like how that feels. Never want to
Right.
feel that again. But
Right.
I'm human, and I can look at how I got there, and I can
Mhm.
identify what do I need to do differently moving forward to maybe not make that same mistake again, or maybe I need to connect with somebody and
Right.
learn from them, or whatever the case may be. But feeling it and giving ourselves grace, that's the key to being able to move past those moments when we are not perfect.
Right. Because we're never going to be.
Right.
So when we
Right.
realize that I'm human and human things are going to happen, then I
Yes.
can I can better prepare myself and move forward. So this was such
Mhm.
an excellent conversation. I truly
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I love your spirit. I mentioned earlier, I love your sign behind your head, never give up,
Yes.
because that's what we want. We don't want you to give
Mhm.
up, people. It doesn't
Right.
matter what's going on, what your obstacle is, what your struggle, your journey.
Mhm.
Don't give up. Keep going because you
Yes.
don't know how close you could be to your breakthrough. You don't know when that next yes may happen. And I like to say no for me is now next opportunity. Stop looking at no as it being
Mm.
final or it's over or even a mistake being filing over. Nope, it's not. As
Yes.
long as you keep getting up, every new day is a new beginning, a new opportunity to get better, to try again. And so we just got to continue to brush ourselves off and keep being resilient, keep going.
Yes. Now I need permission to take that from you because I love that. No means next opportunity.
Yeah, take it, because I got it from
Yeah.
somebody and I don't know where. But it
Yeah.
helped me because I used to feel
Mhm.
like I was afraid to get no's. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know what? If you're not getting no's, 9 times out of 10, you're not getting yeses either. Because to get a yes, sometimes that's the 50-50. It's either no or yes. So if
Mhm.
I, especially in my business, if I want to get more customers, I'm probably going to meet more no's than I'm going to meet yeses. But eventually those no's are going to get me to my yes. So you
Yes.
got to get no's so that you can get to the right yes. So that no means
Mhm.
it's the next opportunity for you to get to that yes. So we gotta,
Yeah.
be willing, like, it's not that bad. I think we think things are worse than what it really is, and we agonize
Mhm.
over stuff, and it's like, okay, so they said no. Okay. You're still breathing, you're still here, you're gonna
Right.
make it. Now keep going and now
Yes.
find somebody else. So yeah, we gotta get more no's so
Mhm.
we can get to the right yeses. Because we're gonna give
Definitely.
some no's, right? Everything is not
Yes.
gonna be a yes, or everything shouldn't be a yes. You shouldn't be just a yes person, and so that means you're saying yes
Mhm.
to things you really want to say no to. Because that used to be me. I used to be a
Yeah.
really big people pleaser and I didn't want to say
Mhm.
no. But guess what? When I say no to something or when I say yes to something, I'm automatically saying no to something else. So you want to make sure that
Yeah.
your yeses are lining up with what you want and your no's are getting you to your right yeses. So that's just for everybody and in every aspect of
Yes.
your life. Make sure you're saying the right no's so you can get to the right yeses.
Mhm.
So
Definitely.
definitely. Yep. But I
Mhm.
loved our conversation, Whitney. And I want
Same.
you to tell everybody how to stay in contact with you, what you have going on, your business again, give us your links,
Mhm.
and I'm going to include them in this message as well.
Sure. So the best way to stay connected would be from my Instagram, which is at Wit Wants You Well. So WHIT Wants You Well. And because I really do, I really want you well.
Yeah, right,
um,
right.
so that's the best way to get in contact with me. And what's going on right now is I'm actually doing 30 days of wellness. So you're welcome to jump on in. We're only day 6 in for the month. So if you go to my Instagram, you can still download the calendar and follow along. And I have some more things coming up in the future in October. I'm still working those things out, so I don't want to announce it yet, but there's
Okay.
definitely more to come. So I encourage anybody, if you're open to learning about how to improve your emotional wellness, your spiritual wellness, please follow me because that's all that my page is about. Sometimes we need like safe spaces and just positivity on social media. So that's what my page is. It's all about that. So yeah, please follow me and stay tuned for new things that I have coming.
Yay. And so, okay, you heard it here, you guys. She has a wellness month pretty much going on right now. So
Mhm.
we're just at day 6. So you can get caught up and then get 24 more days of just inspiration and ways to be well and to take care of yourself. So you definitely
Mhm.
want to follow Whitney's page. I'm going to have all the links there. And you want to stay tuned because she has some stuff coming up in October. And I'm excited to see what those things are. So you need to be excited too because we need, encouragement. There's enough negativity in this world. It's enough things to be frustrated and sad and anxious about. So we need to find places of peace and just like you said, safe spaces where we can get some encouragement because sometimes that's what you need. You just need some encouragement, another pat on the back to keep going. And so I'm sure Whitney can provide that. So again, thank you so much, Whitney, for being
Thank
here.
you.
I wish you well, and I need to sign up and find out what you got going on because I could use some more wellness and all my busyness that I have going on right now. But thank you
Yes.
so much, you all. Thanks for joining and watching all week. Next week, I have some more great conversations coming up with public speaking and business. So definitely you want to stay tuned. And of course, the Model Speakers Academy. Hello. If you know somebody who wants to get better with public speaking, presenting, and just having the confidence to articulate themselves and maybe even coming up with their own signature message, then they want to sign up and stay tuned because I have some webinars coming up this month for my official launch for the Model Speakers Academy. So stay tuned to Whitney Johnson Martin and as well to what I have going on with the Model Speakers Academy. So have a great